Thank you so much for either purchasing or accepting this booklet, Creation Tells the Story, Cymatics. This booklet is one that I honestly was excited about because I believe that this is one of those booklets that each generation can can acknowledge that it's true. It doesn't have any cultural restrictions or walls around it because music is universal. So I did just want to make a quick video on explaining what Cymatics is and what we're going to be discussing, what you're going to be reading in this booklet. So I'm going to read from the introduction as far as the definition of cymatics. It says that cymatics is the study of visible sound and vibration, exploring how acoustic frequencies create geometric patterns in materials like sand, liquid, or metal pieces, coined by Hans Jenny from the Greek wave, so the Greek word for wave. It says it shows how sound structures matter. So pretty much cymatics is the study of how sound structures matter. So sound can manipulate matter, it can create things, it can create patterns. So when we think about music, music is abstract. It's interdimensional, meaning that, and this is what's going to be discussed in the booklet as well, as far as it being abstract and interdimensional. Abstract meaning that it's not confined to an element saying, okay, well, hey, it can only be a solid, or hey, it's liquid. Abstract meaning that music can be created in the mind and then it can be expressed. I mean, you can use gongs, you can use different things to create music, but music has the ability to move from one dimension to another rather. And there are scriptures that validate that, where it says that God inhabits the praises of his people. So if we can hear praises, here on earth, and God can hear praises in heaven for him to inhabit them, heaven is in a three-dimensional locality. It's not geographically in a three-dimensional space. So for music to be able to abide in two different dimensions, it has to be interdimensional, from being able to travel from one dimension to another. And even with that scripture, if we hear and see that, okay, God inhabits, and inhabit means to dwell in, to be seated in the praises of his people, that means that music is a vehicle for expression. So with that being said, just bringing it down to 2026, or to a description that is more readily accessible to our mind, music has the capability to change us, to change how we act. Now, we know from the description that it has the ability to manipulate matter, material things. So if you go to, example of cymatics, you will see some sand or even liquid on a speaker, and the different vibrations or frequencies create a different pattern depending on how low or how the frequency is. And people in New Age, they know this. Some people will take things that are take something that's natural and then manipulate it to make it for sorcery. Meaning that some people they manipulate it and they create different frequencies to say, well, hey, I can heal you by playing this specific frequency. Or people who are like in satanic cults or whatnot, they'll play specific frequencies to manipulate your body chemistry, to manipulate literally your soul and open your soul up, because again, sound can manipulate matter. And it's interdimensional, so not just matter, spiritual things as well, because if God inhabits the praises of his people, that means music has the capability to transcend the 3D space and go into 4D or whatever other dimensions that are out there, to create a portal or a gateway or access point for spirits. So we could say, for instance, everyone knows, when you were out in a club and it would be specific music that will provide a specific reaction. So if you have like twerk music, obviously there are specific beats, and I mean these beats have frequencies to them, and then you react to it. Your body reacts to it. So, and if you play, drill music, your countenance will begin to change because of the frequencies that you're going to yield to, and it begins to manipulate you from the inside out so that you can express that spirit that's in the music. Because if God can inhabit the praises of his people, that means another spirit can inhabit other frequencies in music. So, and this is a perfect example because because I'm 33, and like I couldn't dance growing up, so I didn't have rhythm. So I think I went to a club maybe once or twice, and I was like, I can't do this, I can't dance. But I mean that obviously because of the music I was listening to and the spirits that were riding on that music and they were being transferred through that music, I was still expressing those spirits whether I was in a club or not. So anytime, honestly, if you listen to whatever music and a certain song comes on with a specific beat, obviously a specific frequency, and people say, hey, you're literally calling up a spirit, because a spirit is being called up in you, because the diviner, the sorcerer that's playing the music, they know how to divine up a spirit that's already in you. So you could be sitting down at the bar listening to a song, or you could be at a house party sitting down, talking or whatever, and a specific song comes out and it calls up that spirit. Everybody gets up and start dancing. When a slower song is playing, then now you're slow grinding. They're divining up different spirits, and because different spirits are being called up and they're being manifested through a person, and if you add alcohol to it, all this is divination. All of this is rituals to call up a spirit. And when the spirit is fully manifested, you'll find yourself in a bed of fornication, having sex with somebody, or what y'all call one night stands, or what we used to call one night stands. And then, now you're going to work the next day, either nothing happened, or you're trying to take a day after pill so that way you don't get pregnant. But when you're in these atmospheres, these divination chambers, whether they're a strip club, whether it's a house party, it could be anywhere. You can make something into a chamber of divination with you get alcohol. People call them spirits. You can get alcohol, you get drugs, and you get the music, and you're having a ritual to divine up spirits. It's just like if you go to Africa or any other place where they're playing specific music and then they're dancing really fast, or they got maracas or whatever else, paint all over them. They're divining up spirits. So and this is why I say, just because something is culturally accepted or you're doing it for the culture does not make it holy, and does not make it any less demonic or satanic than people doing it out, in the Far Eastern mysticism, or down in Africa, or down in Haiti, or down in India, or wherever else. Just because it's in America doesn't make it any less ritualistic. Because again, Cymatics has the ability to manipulate and change matter structures. So if you look at a video of Cymatics and different frequencies are playing and it's creating different patterns on that board, the same thing is happening with inside of us, and it's etching out chambers or compartments for a specific spirit to reside in. So I'll try to break down an example just for one spirit. So if you take like the spirit of lust, and they have music that literally the spirit of love is producing music for the spirit of lust to be worshipped, divined up, and expressed and manifested in a generation and a people. You have a woman who's a single mom, or doesn't have to be a single mom, playing Cardi B, or playing Sexy Red, or playing even like that old school sexual lust-filled music, and you listen to it as a kid, and you begin to have sexual dreams, or you begin to daydream about sexual stuff because of the music that's being divined on you. Okay, you're not participating in sexual sin yet, but it's been divined on you, so you seeing it in your mind, you daydreaming about it, and then it gets to a point where, okay, now you're getting older. Okay, hey, we're going to a day party, or we're going to a rooftop party, or we're going to a club or a strip club, and then the same lust-filled music, because spirits ride on music. It's a vehicle of expression. And so if a DJ wants to divine up lust and want to see, the women dancing on the men and, begins to change the atmosphere to divine up these different spirits to accommodate them. And the DJs half the time don't know that they're divining up spirits. They just know that I can work a crowd. And when you say I can work a crowd, that means you can manipulate a crowd of people with music. But what is music? Music is nothing but frequencies and vibrations that literally get inside of a person and begins to manipulate them if they yield to it. So you get on the dance floor. Let's say, okay, you're on the dance floor and they playing "Nuck If You Book." That's what they used to play back in my day. "Nuck If You Book" was like the crunk song. And if you just think in your mind how, if you're in my age demographic and people will play "Nuck If You Book," or if they play like stiletto pumps in the club, if they play Crime Mob, or if they play like, Chief Keef, this drill music, the men and the women will have the same spirit and it will become violent and aggressive, because it's a violent, aggressive, murderous spirit that's being projected through that music. That's the frequency for that spirit. So if you say, okay, hey, I want to calm them down, and then you begin to transition them, because it's literally it's like a snake charmer. Now I want to calm them down, and then you begin to play maybe like some Pretty Ricky, Grind on Me, and then now you divine up a spirit of lust. And okay, now you're mixing drinks and alcohol and drugs into it, weed, and now you're divining lust on them. And then like I said, after that, people begin to partner off or whatever the case may be. You find people in the bathrooms or wherever else having sex because you divined up lust, and now it's fully manifested. And because you mixed alcohol and drugs with it, when they say lose your inhibitions, you're losing the capacity to exercise your free will, meaning that, hey, I shouldn't be doing this. I shouldn't be having sex in this bathroom with this person I don't know. Or I shouldn't be, performing oral sex on this person in this car. I don't know you shouldn't be doing it, period. So when you mix all those things together, a spirit is divined up and fully manifested, and it's now able to express itself through you. So then it's not just on the secular side, it's also that spirit, and then just that divination through musics or cymatics. You see that in Christian rap. There's no such thing as Christian rap. You cannot take something that from its inception is defiled and corrupt and try to wash it off and give it to God. That's not how it works. That's like if you're dating one woman, or you're dating a guy and you give them a gift and they break up with you and they give it back to you, and you try to give it to your next partner. They don't want that. It's defiled at that point. So rap, hip hop, you cannot Christianize that. You can't Christianize R&B. You can't Christianize rock. You can't Christianize metal. You cannot Christianize any of these things, because it's the same spirit. If you look at these people when they are rapping who claim to be Christian rappers, if you mute the music, they look just like, and they have the same mannerisms as the secular rappers, because it's the same spirit. It's the same exact spirit. When you look at the booklet, I have a QR code that will show you a video, and it looks just like it. And the people that are in this booklet is being pointed out because they are being used to defile people. Praying for their salvation is absolutely necessary, but I can't negate the fact that they're being used to lead people astray. One of the people, quote unquote Christian rappers in here is Jackie Hill Perry. You cannot. That's a lesbian spirit. If you look at Young and May and you look at her, they're the exact same thing, because it's the exact same spirit. It doesn't matter that she has kids. It doesn't matter that she's married. A lesbian spirit is a lesbian spirit, period. And it's about, like I said, praying for people's salvation, but not negating what you're looking at. This is why I say it's important to, one of the previous videos, it's important to have your senses exercised to discern good and evil. Just because something says it is a Christian does not make it a Christian, okay? And this is one thing that a lot of people have to understand, that Satan will come to church and say he is a Christian. Satan will read the Bible. Satan will speak in satanic tongues. Satan will lay hands on people. fallen angels, they will do all of that, because the goal is to deceive Christians. Christians are the problem, not the sinners. The Christians are the ones that Satan is contending against. So his deception is aimed at the Christian. His defilement and the division he's trying to cause is into the Christian. So I hope that you enjoy reading this booklet. Please read the booklet with humility, meaning that just because you may like something or not agree with it, if the Bible shows you otherwise, you got to go with the Bible, if the Bible is your authority.